Okay, hey team, welcome to our Thursday night call. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I don't see very much green out there, but thank you for not going out drinking to join us. So first, a couple announcements. Ashley's so graciously here recording the call for us, but we have 2 rank ups, one of which is her husband Bill, who is now a 2-star diamond, and then my husband Sean, who ranked up to emerald. Neither of these guys work the business, but they are behind the scenes supporting us. And also remember, we have our next sneak peek into coaching, which starts on Tuesday. So make sure you are inviting lots of people. Like, everybody should be inviting at least 5 people. Like, you should aim to get 5 people in the sneak peek. Okay, so invite. The worst they can say is hell no, but you don't know if you don't ask. Also, the Emerald to Diamond training, you need to apply by tomorrow if you want to be in that. So you must already be an Emerald and you're trying to rank up to Diamond. Also, we only have 5 people on the Success Club board so far, which is Ashley, Cara, myself, Lisa Francis, and Kelsey Paulson. So the month is a little over half over, but you have plenty of time to still be pushing to lock in at least Success Club 5. If you are serious about this business and this is what you want to do, you want to work your business, you should make it a no matter what, which means saying to yourself, I'm going to reach Success Club, not, oh, I kind of want to do that. It would be nice if I could. Maybe I should. No, like, I am going to do this every single month, no matter what. So get it done. All right, so I'm going to screen share, and then I have a PowerPoint for us. Hopefully, I can do that. Can I screen share, actually? I'm running it.
It's not letting you, like, it doesn't let you do share screen.
Yeah, here we go. Now you can see it.
Yep. 1 second. You're good.
All right, so we're going to go over challenge groups hammer style, which somehow 2 years ago when I became a coach, I pretty quickly on got the name as the hammer. Actually, up here, I have my own hammer. If you haven't seen it, it was gifted to me at last summit by my upline, Lindsay Bakke, because everyone says I dropped the hammer. So that's why I'm going over this. So Fit Sparks is the name, but hammer dropping is my game. Just comes naturally to me. So we're going to go over what these challenge groups are, why we run them, when we should be running them, and how we should be running them. So the first couple slides come straight from our back office as far as what is a challenge group. It's a group of how we introduce our prospects to Beachbody fitness programs, nutrition, and the Beachbody coaching opportunity through our challenge groups. So this is what Beachbody says in the back office, and it's in the quote. I kind of shortened it up, though. They say it's a coach-led exclusive group committed to getting healthy, where your participants agree to do a Beachbody fitness program, drink their Shakeology daily, and check in with other participants on a private Facebook page. Now we're going to talk in a couple slides about how you have to kind of make it your own, but right now we're talking about what they say it is. Where we help each other and motivate each other to achieve our health and fitness goals. We share tips, accountability, and results. So they say there's 3 steps in that, which is first to get them to buy a challenge pack, then they join a challenge group, and then once they get results, to enter the challenge contest where they can win cash and prizes. Hold on just a second while I send a text to my husband because my daughter just came out of her room. Okay. So how do you invite people to these challenge groups? I've gotten this question. I think someone messaged me just last week to ask me how I invite, if I had a script that I can share. Is inviting to these groups salesy? It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be salesy at all. It should be a natural, normal conversation that you're having, just like a conversation you'd have, say, Ashley was just telling me about a restaurant she experienced. She's just sharing her take on it and why she liked it. And that's exactly how you should be talking to people about challenge groups. So the WBBS is what Beachbody says, just in case you're wondering. So they say these groups are all about motivation, inspiration, and finding comfort in sharing your struggles and your journey with other people who are going through some of the same things. We're giving them access to this Beachbody Challenge, which in essence is a big contest. I think a lot of times when we put people in these groups, we sometimes forget the contest aspect where they can win cash and prizes. And always, they can always get a free t-shirt just for entering their results. And I tell people, even if your before picture and your after picture look exactly the same, you should still enter them because you're going to get that free t-shirt no matter what. So these are just little talking points that we can tell people without overwhelming them to get them to get started on their journey. So this is one thing I say to my new coaches about challenge groups. When you think about all the other health and fitness companies or makeup companies or any other MLM companies, what sets us apart from them? As Carl Deichler says, we're a multi-helping company, not just, we're not a multi-level marketing company. We have the fitness aspect. We also have the nutrition aspect. But what sets us apart is that we offer this support. So whereas someone could just join a gym and get a gym membership, once they hand over their money, the people at the door don't care if they come once a week. They don't care if they come 7 days a week. All they care is that they get their monthly dues from the customer. We're not like that. We offer all these things together plus the money back guarantee. So we're going to coach them from beginning to end. I have people that have joined my challenge group 2 years ago when I first started, and I'm still coaching them, and I'll coach them until as long as they let me. So it's really the total package for anybody who has health and fitness goals to reach. No matter what size or shape you're in, you always have health and fitness goals to be working towards. So we want to make sure that we tell everybody about the entire package. It's not just, here's a program, see you later. That's not how we operate. So you really need to make sure that you're in it for the long haul so that you can support these people. Don't plug them into a group and then take off on them, because that's not what Beachbody's about. Okay, so these groups, I told you a little bit about what Beachbody says these groups are, but the thing is once you start your business and now you're a coach, you get to decide how you want to run your group, what kind of group you want to run. There's endless amounts. It's kind of like your own fingerprint. Like my challenge group isn't going to look like Ashley's, and yours isn't going to look like mine. You get to make it your own, and you don't want your group to look like mine, because you want it to reflect you and how you run your business. So there's some girls who have great success in running 5-day free clean eating groups. There's some coaches who run Shakeology groups where the people are just drinking Shakeology and sharing their support. There's some people who run a size program. I myself have pretty much always ran multi-program groups. So I don't really turn anybody away. Some people are doing Beachbody programs. Some people aren't doing Beachbody programs. That's up to you to decide what kind of groups you want to run. You get to decide, how are you going to invite? Are you going to send out an event on Facebook and invite your entire friends list? Are you going to message people, which you should be messaging people too? Are you going to post about it and share on your Facebook page? Are you going to run a Facebook ad? I mean, the possibilities are endless. And also need to decide how long you want this group to run. Okay, so I know some people think, I'm just not confident enough. Like, I don't feel like I know enough about this business. Like, I can run these groups. And here's what I had to say to you. Fake it. You're not going to be 100% sure what you're doing. Honestly, I just had someone tell me today, my coach, I was telling her something and she's like, how do I not know this stuff? And I'm like, girl, I've been doing this for 2 years and I still and will forever be messaging Ashley and asking her questions. I mean, there's no possible way that one person knows every single thing. I mean, there's always things that we can take away and share with each other. So here's the thing. Obviously, you love Beachbody and you believe in their products, and that's why you're here. So you need to learn how to sell it without selling it, if that makes sense. Like when people come to me and say, well, I'd like to try Shakeology, but I really just can't afford it. I'm not going to bust out a script and send it to them. I mean, if that works for you, that's fine, but I don't do scripts. I just don't feel like I'm being genuine if I'm sending them a copy and pasted script and I'm sending it to Susie and Sally and Sammy and every other person in the world. So I don't do that. I just tell them, I understand how you're feeling. I felt that way too. And I found that if I budget Shakeology into my monthly food budget, it becomes more affordable for my family. Plus, I'm purchasing 30 meals at once, and I don't need any additional vitamins or supplements. And maybe you're thinking, wow, you make that seem so easy. But I've been, perfecting this over the last 2 years, and it's literally me just having a conversation with somebody. And to me, it's actually easier when you're on your phone because you have time to proofread it and think about it. For me, it's harder to have that conversation in person because, after the fact, you're like, shoot, why didn't I say that? Why didn't I tell him that? But just slow down and think about what you're saying and remember, how would I talk to this person if I was telling them about that new restaurant I just tried? You don't have to tell them all these facts. Just tell them how you feel and how it's affected you. And this is your business now and you're the boss. So you get to take ownership and run it however you want. So, okay, now you're ready to start your group. So you open the group, which is in Facebook. You open up a new group. Make sure you're setting it to secret. I've made the mistake in the past where I've just set it to private. And I have all these random strange asking to join my group. Seriously, one group I had 6 or 8 people who would just find the group on Facebook and they're asking me to join. So that's really weird. You don't want to do that. You set the rules. Yes, you're going to find as you go, you need to have some rules. In the past, before the group starts, I will type the rules out I want them to follow. For instance, they need to post 3 days a week. They need to weigh in every single Monday. They can't push other companies' products. I mean, whatever the rules you want, you need to come up with those and know that you're going to stick to them. So you can add a nice cover photo or not. It's up to you. I mean, add the description and all that stuff. And then start adding your people into the group when you're ready for it to start. And this is just basic stuff. Okay, so now you're going to start your group. What do? This is the single most important thing. You have to post every single day. And I don't mean sporadically, you have to post. I take this quote from Ashley because she's told me this a couple times. The speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. I think that's how it goes, right? It's true though. I've had groups where I'm like, man, this challenge group sucks. And then I'm thinking, because I'm not posting, I'm not working out, I'm not drinking my Shakeology. Why in the hell would they be excited and motivated about their fitness? So you have to be posting daily. And I suggest posting, pick a time of day and consistently post. For instance, I was posting, and we'll visit this in a minute, I was posting every morning, Monday through Sunday at 6 a.m. And then throughout the day, I'll post when I work out, or I'll post a picture of my meal, a picture of my shake, and then I'll go through and comment or at least everybody's post too. You have to be involved in your group. You can't expect to take a back seat in there and then think you're going to create these rock star challengers because they're taking your lead. You can, what are you going to post every day? So if you don't know, in your Coach Online office, there are Beachbody scripts. It's under your Sales and Marketing tab, Challenge Group Guides. It's broken down by every single program Beachbody offers, or there's one that says multi-program group, which is a generic one, which when I do use scripts, I use that one. But the problem I was running into was I've had the same challenger, some of them repeat, and I felt like that material was being obviously repeated and they were going to catch on to it. This is kind of a funny little story, but when I was in my first challenge group, it was ran by Ashley in my upline. And I was like, man, I love this. Like, I was a rock star challenger. Like, they knew I was going to be a good coach because I just took off in that group and I loved it. But when the group was over and I became a coach and I realized that they had these scripts to follow, I kind of felt like it was a sham. Like, I kind of felt cheated. Like, you mean these girls are in there like copying and pasting this stuff for me? Like, I thought they were like, waking up in the morning like, oh, what am I going to say that's going to inspire these people today? So I kind of felt a little bit cheated, which maybe that's part of the reason why I don't like to use scripts. Now, I'm not saying not to use those, because in the beginning I was too. I would literally wake up, roll over, log into my office, copy, and then paste it into my group, and away I went. But if you have the same people over and over again, they're going to catch on to you too, and they're going to be like, seriously, this is like old news. Okay, so like I said, I do try to make it a habit to comment or at least like everybody's post. Just genuine stuff. Like if someone posts a sweaty selfie, like, awesome job, looks like you killed your workout, or that looks like a delicious meal, or can you share your recipe? Like, because that's what this group is all about. It's all about interacting. It's all about making them feel great about themselves, giving them support, and helping them. And like I said, you have to be posting. I've had groups where I've said to them, this is not the Stephanie show. Like, all it is me posting and you guys are not participating. And I've had groups where they were like a dud and there was a Stephanie show and I shut it down. Because at the end of the day, it was just like a total energy suck. Instead of me being excited about like their results and what they were doing, it was just like, oh my God, this sucks. Like, nobody's participating. And it's going to happen, unfortunately. It's just the nature of the business. Just like you'll have returns, you'll have coaches quit, you'll have people going active. It just happens. Even if you're doing everything right, it's going to happen. But repeat after me. I am in control. When you are running the group, you are in control. You have to take charge of the group. Why I say that? I have had people in my group, and Ashley's my witness to this one, who try to like bash Beachbody in my group, which pisses me off because I let them in my group for free. They're not using any of my products. I've never made a red cent off of them. I'm still coaching them and pushing them, and they're bashing what I'm obviously passionate about. So I delete those posts. If someone posts something that I feel is negative and it's not going to add any value to the rest of my challengers, I delete it. And then I will kindly message them and tell them, I deleted your comment and this is why. That's where you have to fake it till you make it. You might not be confident in doing that, but what happens when Sally posts a negative, crappy post, and then your other 20 challengers see it? You don't want them. Like, negativity breeds negativity. You don't want negativity in your groups, and that's why I say you have to take control. Not to bash any of their brands, but say someone's in there and they're using Slim Shake. They're not going to use Shakeology because Shakeology is way too damn expensive, and they're in there going on a rant about that. Delete it. Because if Sally sees that post, she's going to want Slim Shake, and she's not going to want Shakeology. And, I mean, it's fine if they're not using their products. To me, it's fine. But don't let people bash what you're doing. You have to be able to stand up to yourself, for yourself. Okay, these are some examples of what I'm posting in my group when I'm not using scripts. Because I'm not really using scripts anymore unless I'm running a specific program. Like if I'm doing a 21-day fix group, which I do sometimes do, I will still use some of those scripts, but I'll like mix in some of my own stuff too. Like some of the scripts in the back office are like salesy, like, oh, do you need a B-Lines resistance band? I cut that stuff out because I don't like it. and I'll replace it with something else. So this is just an example of like one of the posts that I'm using. So I have my own Word document going now where I'm like creating my own content and then I'm just pasting it in there so that I have like a record of what I'm doing. So this is just one example, and then I went out on Google and found this picture, or I downloaded some of the pictures from Beachbody. So I think I actually just like Googled reasons for exercise. Like I just came up with some topics of stuff I wanted to talk about, and then I went out and found, like did a little research on it. It really isn't that time consuming. It's not like I sit here and spend all kinds of time. I have 3 kids and I work. I don't have time to sit here for 6 hours and work on a challenge group. But I do save the content so I can come back to it at another time. Okay, here's another example. So this is an example of when I had a hard time getting my challengers like engaged in the group. So I decided that I'm going to give them a challenge. So here was like 4 little challenges that I came up with. And this was like a contest where we were going to have a challenge a day for 4 days, and everyone that participated got their name into the hat, and then I drew it out and sent them some prize. Sometimes I send them a small gift, which is a tax write-off, and sometimes I just recognize them with praise. It kind of depends. Like I have some little stuff like laying around that I pick up for prizes, or if they're not drinking Shakeology, I always send them packets for their prize because it's just a genius idea. Why wouldn't you do that? So I just went onto PicMonkey and created these little challenges, and then I would post 1 a day, and then my challengers would have to comment underneath. Like, it's not difficult stuff. Like, it's just silly stuff to get people active and involved. And then here's an example of like how I would call people out in my group if they're not participating, because you're going to need to do that. When people start to get silent and they're not really participating and it's just you posting and like you're talking to yourself all the time, don't be afraid to like tag people in a status like, hey, Ashley, I haven't seen you post in like 7 days. Like, did you fall off the wagon and get ran over? Like, call people out. Just like if you went to a gym and you had like a workout partner and they didn't show up for like a week, wouldn't you send them a text or something and be like, where are you? And I've had challenges where I've said like, what do you want me to do if you like fall off the face of the earth? Like, do you want me to text you? Do you want me to call you? Do you want me to email you? Should I like send the police? Like, you know, you just have to kind of like create this relationship and find out what you can do to help keep them accountable. So like, this is, for instance, a post like after we weighed in, I just said, you know, our numbers weren't really great. Like, remember why you joined this group. Like, we have to really stop the excuses. And it's just me like kind of dropping the hammer, there's that term, on them and like whipping them into shape, because that's what I'm here for. I'm running this show and I want to keep them accountable, because at the end of the day, the main goal is for them to get, we want them to get the best results possible, because what are they going to do when they get their best results? Which obviously we want them to reach their goals, but then they're going to go tell their friends, who are going to tell their friends, who are going to tell their friends that, oh, my coach Stephanie like helped me lose all this weight. And that's where you need like the word of mouth. So obviously first and foremost, we're in it because we want to help people, but when we help them in turn, it's going to come back and help us too. So do not be afraid to call people out. It's not you being rude. It's just you trying to help them and keep them accountable, which is the whole purpose why you put them in this group. And then this is how I track their numbers. In the beginning, when I was a new coach, I would literally just write it down on a piece of paper every week. I learned this from Ashley because I remember when she was coaching, I would see her posts like, I've helped people lose 500 pounds. Like in the beginning, I don't know if she still does it. She was keeping track of how much weight she had helped everybody lose in her coaching career. And I thought that was awesome. But this is a tool just so I can go back and look at everyone's numbers. I add it up each week. And then the following day, like after we weigh in, I'll post and tell them how much they lost. And then at the end of the group, I share this page in the group so everyone can see everyone's numbers. I think it's just a good tool so they can go back and see, wow, I was in that group for 8 weeks and I only lost 3 pounds. Yikes, or wow, I lost 15 pounds, because obviously, like, when I'm in challenge groups, I'm writing all my stuff down myself, but I realize that not everybody operates like that, so I'm just keeping track of it for them. Let me see. If you guys have any questions, you can just add it in the chat box, and then we'll go back over it at the end. So, using a scheduling site, I was using Hootsuite, how I told you to like pick a time and be consistent and post every day. I was using Hootsuite. So at the beginning of my challenge groups, I would sit down and schedule out ideally the entire group, or at least a week or 2 in advance. So I wasn't just like winging it, so that I had like good content that they could take away and find useful. There's been some changes to Hootsuite. Like, you can still schedule it, but when you schedule like text, your words, and a picture, when it posts to Facebook, it just shows the picture now, and they have to click on the picture to actually read the text. So it's kind of confusing. We're hoping that like will get fixed, but it was like a Facebook update. So I've kind of stopped scheduling my stuff for now until I can come up with like a better idea, but that's another story. So you should always, always, always have a challenge group going. If you're not confident, or you're just not ready, or you just don't feel like you have enough people to run a group on your own, team up with somebody else or a couple other people on the team. I always have other coaches like in my group, and they're adding other people, which is fine as long as they are participating, in the group too. So you should be consistent about your groups and be almost predictable. Like, I have written down, here's my handy dandy planner. I'll make Ashley so proud. It's all filled out. The first Monday of every month, I know I'm going to start a new challenge group. And I know I'm going to start it because I've made out a yearly calendar, and I've shared it in my team page so that my downline can add their challengers to those groups too. Because the problem is if you're just like, oh, I'm going to start a group next month, the next month comes, it doesn't happen. So you have to be consistent. So like, if you start a group the first Monday of the month, then 2 weeks into the group, you start advertising for your next group. So you're always being consistent and predictable. So your audience will know, oh, she runs a new group every month. Oh, now she's advertising for her new group. While you're being consistent and predictable, also don't be afraid to try new things. Like, I always run multi-program groups, but once in a while I'll run like a 21-day fix group or a 3-day refresh group, or I've been in clean eating groups. Like, everybody has their thing, but it's always good to try new things too, if that makes sense. And don't be afraid to fail. Like how I was saying about the groups I've had before, I've had to shut it down. It was almost like relieving to me, because it was like, this group is sucking all the life out of me. And I told them, like, if you guys don't start posting, I'm going to have to shut the group down, because you have to like focus on the people that are dedicated and deserving of your attention, if that makes sense. You can't help somebody if they don't want to be helped. I say Beachbody, I say use Beachbody, which seems like a duh, but why I mention this is because last spring I was training for my first 10K. So I wasn't doing a lot of Beachbody programs. I was like running all the time. And at that time, I felt like my business slowed down. Like, it was a little bit harder for me to reach Success Club every month. Like, I still was, but I had to work a little bit harder because I wasn't posting about the 21-day fix. I wasn't posting about the new size program. I was posting about going on all these runs, which all these people that run were loving my posts and following it, but not the people who would be interested in Beachbody, if that makes sense. So if I were to do over, I would make sure that I was posting more about the products I was using too. So make sure that you have like a variety of posts. So like, I post my workout pictures and my meals, my Shakeology, I'll post recipes, tips, and like motivation and encouraging stuff. So just a lot of different stuff so that you don't bore your crowd. And how I talked about shared groups, like if a couple of you group up together to run a group, a challenge group, that's great, but each of you needs to take like your own responsibility. And I learned this the hard way because I've always told my downline coaches that they are more than welcome to join my groups, and they always are, and they can bring their challengers, and they always can. But I've ran into the problem where they dump their people in the group and then they're like, peace out. And then they don't check in or anything. So you kind of need to make sure you have like an understanding of who's going to do what. And even if they're not like running the group, they need to at least still be like messaging their people and checking in on them. So I had to kind of like revamp how I was going to run things because it just wasn't working in the past. Okay, so we kind of went over what if no one participates. Call them out, message them. I try to check in like with a personal message on Facebook with my personal challengers once a week, but I do comment and like their posts. In worst case scenario, if it's like birds chirping and silent and you're just like can't take it anymore, close the group down because it's really just not going to add any value to your life. And make sure that in all the hammer dropping you're doing, that you're giving them praise too. Like, great job, you guys lost 30 pounds this week. Like, I'm loving all your sweaty selfies. Awesome Flex Friday pictures. You know, whatever. Make sure you're giving them praise and building them up. And then last but not least, challengers make the very best coaches. It is like proven. I don't know how many of you came from a challenge group before you were invited, but when you're in a challenge group, you get to like experience the entire business, like kind of behind the scenes. You get to experience like what it's all about. So when I was in my very first challenge group, like I loved the accountability and the motivation I got from everybody. It wasn't like anything I was getting at the gym that I was going to. So when I was invited to the business and that seed was planted, I joined because I wanted that accountability and I wanted to do what these girls were doing. So in every challenge group, there's usually at least one or a couple people who are standouts. They're the people who are like posting every day. They're like rocking their workout. They're drinking their Shakeology. You need to message them and just say, like, hey, girl, you're doing awesome. You're really motivating all these people in the challenge group. Like, you should think about being a coach. Like, you'd be really good at it. You know, just plant that seed. And if they're a good challenger, it's not a lie. They're going to be an awesome coach because that's really just what it's all about. So that's it. Oh, I have one more slide. Hammer time. So this is the pledge I want you to take. This is like the most important slide. So I want you to say, I'm capable of running a kick-ass challenge group. I am strong. I'm a confident human, and I can rock this. I'm the boss. I have an amazing free service to offer. So this is what you should be thinking about when you're going to have a conversation with somebody. Like, you do have an amazing free service to offer that no other company offers, and you putting them in your accountability group is what's going to get them awesome results. You're going to follow them from the beginning to the end and help them reach their goals because you are the bomb.com. So, any questions? Let me try to see if we have chats here. Get off the screen. There. Ashley, can you unmute them? Let me see if I have chats.
You don't want me unmuting everybody, though.
That's a great tip. I don't know what Daniel's talking about. Debbie says she needs me in her group. Debbie, I'll totally join your group if you want me in there. I just had Jasmine in my group, and I actually had, so I forgot to talk about this. Like, I do my weigh-ins on Wednesdays, sometimes Mondays, sometimes Wednesdays. Depends how I feel when I set up my group. But I have a rule, like if you don't weigh in the first week, you're gone. Like unless you message me, or like I have a couple people who don't need to lose weight, so I don't make them weigh in, but it's like a prior conversation. But if you miss the first weigh-in, you're out. If you miss 2 weigh-ins in a row, you're out. I took 10 people out of our group today. And it sounds really mean, but it's like I've learned over the last 2 years that I really have to focus my energy on those people that are dedicated, because I was finding myself focusing on why these people weren't posting and why these people weren't weighing in. And it was just like, it was totally like an energy suck for me. So I just decided I'll send them a message and say, hey, sorry, I had to take you out of the group. Like you missed the first weigh-in. I'd love to help you when you're ready to commit to your goals. You know, just short and sweet and honest.
Steph, do you do that if they bought a challenge pack from you? Is that across the board what you do?
Yes.
Even if, because I guess I just am like, I'm like, I don't want to be like you. I don't know. I guess if they talk to you, then that's fine. But it's almost like, then you're not. I guess.
This is the thing. Like, I make my rules well known. And like, for instance, I will post the night before the first weigh-in and remind them. I think I even maybe posted a video. Like I did post a video. I posted a video the night before and reminded them, this is our first weigh-in. Like, this is why it's so important. You have to be here. I don't know. I feel like if you spend $140 on a challenge pack and join my group and don't weigh in, like, how can I really help you?
Can I add something in if you don't mind?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm like pitch black at this hotel room. I can see where you're coming from, Emily, but at the same time, we are giving them our time. And if they can't come in for a 1-second post to weigh in, then they're not dedicated to their journey, in my opinion. I always let my people know, like, if you gain weight, that's okay. The reason you have to weigh in is for accountability, because I have no idea what's going on if you don't weigh in. But if you don't weigh in, then to me, you're just kind of lollygallying through the program. You're posting occasionally and you're just not committed. And I do the same thing with Stephanie. Like, Jessica and I run ours together, and Jessica tags them every Monday morning like it's weigh-in day. So there's no excuses on why they don't do it. And I lay my rules up front. And I feel like if you lay them up front and you tell them, like, this is what you're going to expect, then there's no reason. If they say, hey, I don't want to weigh in, like I do Stephanie's groups. I'm in all of hers. I'm like, hey, just to let you know what, I'm not doing the scale at all for the next month. She's like, okay, that's fine. She's not going to kick me out because I told her.
Right.
But it's one thing if they haven't come to you and said, I'm not going to weigh in, but it's something different if they just flat out ignore you.
Yeah, like people have messaged me and said, I'm going to be on vacation. And I'm not like, you can't take a vacation. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And like, okay, for instance, we weigh in on Wednesday. So Wednesday night, I'll tag the people who haven't weighed in and I'll say, make sure you get me your numbers. And they have till like the next afternoon to get me their numbers. I mean, and sometimes I'll even still message them and like ask them again. But if you're like totally ignoring me.
Right.
I have a question, Steph. So I need to totally revamp how I run challenge groups because I'm way too soft, and that's always been a struggle. But anyways, so I have some people that are in there. They have some Beachbody products. Of course, I mean they had these like way before me or whatever, and they're really close friends that are like always in my. I have an ongoing accountability group too. You know, and then they come to my fitness club too. So I would feel like a real shit ass if I like kicked them. I mean, like, what would you like let them slide? Or I mean, how should I revamp it from April? Because I want more interaction. You know, I think the only people that are posting in my challenge group right now are the coaches.
Yeah. I haven't always kicked people out. Like, it's taken me a while to get to this point. And I'm not saying you have to kick your people out. I'm just saying this is where I am in my business and this is what I do now. But
I think it shows that you're more serious.
yeah, you need to call them out, Debbie. So like post a video and be like, we're weighing in the morning. Like, this is super important for our accountability. This is how I know that you're putting in the work. You have to be here. You have to weigh in. It's the one rule. Like, you let them know that it's important. If they don't weigh in, tag them in a status and call them out again so all the other people in the group can see that they didn't weigh in.
Okay. I'm going to try.
But you have to be weighing in too. Like they need to know that you're doing the work too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I post no matter which way it goes. So, yeah.
So I had a comment, not really a question. That's
Yeah.
okay. Love, Stephanie, that you do multi-program groups. And I just listened to Chalene Johnson's podcast on her show on it's for people who despise exercise. And she really goes about talking about people who just hate exercise for whatever reason. Maybe they had a bad experience growing up. Maybe they failed at something else and so they don't want to try again, or maybe they just haven't found their fit. So I've learned over this year, when I first started, I was definitely pushing the products a little bit, like you need to sign up for a challenge pack, you need to buy a Beachbody fitness program, but it really may not be right for everyone. People need to find what's right for them, and that could be power walking, that could be jogging, that could be doing an elliptical sometimes. I don't know, but because if it starts to get to the point where they hate the program, they hate the workouts, or they're doing it for the wrong reasons, such as weight loss. Just focusing on that weight loss can actually really screw people up, and not focusing on like the mental aspect of just doing it to be healthy and to be happy, to be focused, all the other reasons why we exercise. So I just wanted to point that out because I've kind of just made growth in how I might talk to someone.
Right. And obviously I place a big importance on weigh-in, but I also let people know that like the scale doesn't tell you everything. It's just how I can measure and how I know that people are like involved in the group. And to touch on the free group thing, if you listen to like the Beachbody, like high up coaches, they're probably all going to tell you that they only run program specific groups. A lot of them might not run free challenge groups, and that's fine. You have to find what works for you. But I know for me, I was in a free challenge group and I didn't buy a challenge pack. I was in a group, I didn't buy anything. And then I was in another group and only bought a program. You know, so you might let these people in because ultimately we're here to help everybody is how I feel. I'm going to help you regardless if I don't make any money off of you because that's why I'm in this business. But they might buy something from you in a year or 2 years, or they might sign up to be a coach. They might bring their whole family to you. Like, you just don't know. So I just don't feel like I want to turn anybody away because nobody turned me away, if that makes sense.
I mean,
that's up to you to decide.
I'm going to add something in real quick. I'm just acting like a coach. I'm giving my advice on what I do. And so Stephanie's learned from me from the way I offer free groups. I do some paid groups, and it's always the 21-day fix because it's never anything else that I do, but they're always free. But I do require that they have they have to have a plan in place. So when somebody says they want to join my group, they don't just get added. We have a conversation before they can even be a part of my group, and I explain to them what the group is, and I say, what is your plan? Like, how are you going to achieve your fitness goals? I'm like, are you going to go to the gym? Are you working out from home? Are you using a program, or are you not sure yet? If they do not have a plan in place, they either have to buy a program, buy something at the store, or to let me know they got a gym membership, or they can't come in. They can't just simply say, I'm just going to walk every single day. Because I'm sorry, walking, unless you're doing like huge amount of power walks, like that's not going to help you reach your goals. So I make sure my people have a plan in place, because I know sometimes people are like, well, how do I gain like customers and coaches if we're not making them buy programs? If they don't have a plan in place, that's when I introduce Beachbody. That's when I introduce Shakeology or the performance line. And I think we forget about the performance line way too much, but that's when I introduce that. So that's how you can incorporate Beachbody into your challenge groups. I just wanted to add that little tidbit in.
Yeah, I was actually going to talk about that too, because I had that question also. Like, I'm the same as Ashley. We're probably a lot similar because I started out with her and my upline in their group. But same thing. When someone comes to me, we have a conversation, I ask them, like, what's their plan? If they don't have a plan, then I ask them a few questions and I make a suggestion to them. I always start with the challenge pack. if they don't want the Shakeology, then we'll go to a program. But I'm like Ashley, like, even if you tell me you're going to be running, you're going to do a 5K or something, I need to know your goals. I need to know that you have a plan, because if you don't have a plan, you're really not going to get very far. Somebody asked about what do you do if you invite and like no one's interested. That's when I would team up with another coach or another couple coaches. I personally wouldn't. I know they say you only need 3 to 5 people to start a group. I personally don't want to run a group that small. I have like 35 or 40 people in my group, but I have a couple other coaches that have added people too. My groups are usually that size, but I would just team up with people. Just post in the team page, like, does anybody have a challenge group I can join? Oh, thanks, Debbie.
I like how Debbie likes your cool and demeanor. But if I become a tough love, Debbie's like, meh, 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 towards me. I'm like, we're the same person. Stephanie and I are the same person.
Maybe it's because this is, I mean, challenge groups, like, is my jam. Like,
It is
Ashley's
her
always
jam.
said that. Like, I started off, like, right out of the gate.
Love you,
Like,
Debbie.
as I signed up, I was, like, running my own group. And it's just been, like, you're going to find that one thing that you're really good at. And this is just my thing. Like, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure every time I ask Stephanie to do a team call, I'm like, can you talk about challenge groups? Like, just talk challenge groups. That's it. I'm good.
Go back through these. Oh, and don't be afraid to post about the coaching opportunity, which I kind of talked about that in your group too, though. Like, I just recently started incorporating this where I'll like post like a Shakeology video. You can kind of like advertise in your group too if you're running a multi-program group, so that people who aren't using Beachbody, they're seeing like all the things Beachbody. So there's like great Shakeology videos that you can get on YouTube or from the back office, which it talks about the ingredients. When a new program comes out, like, share that in your group. Or like this month, for instance, the refresh is on sale. So I shared my results in there, and then it was on sale. Like, I don't post, this is on sale for $59.99. I don't post like that. I just say, like, I don't know. I just talk to them like I would talk to you guys, you know? I think I answered that. I'm just going back through the questions. The people I've kicked out, do I lose them as a contact? No, they come back. Yeah. I've had people that I've been coaching over and over and over again. Sometimes they'll just like bow out on their own because, you know, as well as I do, like, you have to be in the right mind frame. Like, I've been in challenge groups where it's like I gained a few pounds and I just sucked at it, but they come back around when they're ready to recommit. And they'll buy another challenge pack from me. I've had customers I've been coaching for 2 years that have bought multiple challenge packs, and they've been in multiple groups. Okay. I don't know if anybody else has any questions. How far in advance would you advertise? 2 weeks. Melanie Metro is like my BFF. She doesn't know it, but I watch like a lot of her training videos, and she talks about consistently having a group, always going, and consistently advertising for a group. It's always going. I run my groups like different links. Sometimes I'll run like a 4-week group or a 6-week group, or like this one's going to be an 8-week group. So I'm consistent. I always have a group, but like if I have a 4-week group and it's like super active, I'll just keep it open. I'll take out the people who are duds and I'll add in some new people instead of like deleting the entire group and starting over. So it's a new group. It's just less work on me, if that makes sense. Because after you're done with your Facebook group, you have to go in and like manually delete each person to close it down. So it's just easier for me sometimes. If the group's really great, I just keep it going for 8 weeks. And also, like, I keep coaching the same people. I know top coaches, like, don't do that. They coach them through their challenge group, and then it's like, bye. But if they want to keep going, I keep them around as long as they want. That's it. Oh, Christy says she's nervous to start a group. You don't have to be scared. You can team up with somebody else, though. I mean, reach out to your upline, and if you haven't been in her group, as a coach, though, you have to be in a challenge group. I don't care if you're not running your own challenge group. You have to be in a challenge group. Like, it seriously is like Beachbody's secret sauce. It really is. Like, you have to be in a challenge group. I know you can't be successful if you're not participating. You just can't. Jamie, you just got to jump in. I need to drop my hammer. Just jump in the group. Team up with somebody, and yeah. Like, if you're not ready to run your own group, like, team up with somebody and help them with the post. You should be posting all your stuff yourself and go through and start commenting on everyone's stuff. I mean, who doesn't love to have like a little pat on the back? You know, a great job, keep it up. Like, if you're in a coach and you're in someone else's group, you need to do that, not with just your challengers, but everybody, because you're like the motivator. So you should be doing that, like, in the Facebook world anyways. That's a side note. But just, like, you should be liking and commenting on, like, everybody's Facebook posts so that you can pop up in their newsfeed. That's a total sidebar. You can stop recording.